Hi guys, Dizzle here. Due to work, my usual schedule has taken a hit this week, but I like to have something for you guys, so I thought I'd give you an Ironman progress update video, and if you like it, I'll chuck one of these out ever so often. I am new to Ironman, so if you guys have any sort of tips or suggestions, then I'd love to hear them in the comments below. I'm really looking forward to Group Ironman. This account is kind of a practice session for me before Group Ironman's released, but when it hits, I'll probably be bringing you guys some Group Ironman content. You can expect to see that like winter 2017 or something. So I did a bit of research before I started, and I went with the regular Ironman account. The reason I did that is because Ultimate seemed too time consuming and Hardcore are just Ironmen that haven't died yet, and I knew at some point I was going to plank, so the regular Ironman just seemed like the obvious choice. So from what I've seen of the Ironmen in the clan that I'm in, online and in videos, a lot of Ironman when they start they just sort of go to Wintertodt, so that's what we're going to do. Once I got off of Tutorial Island, I started by pickpocketing men and women around Lummy so that I can get my hands on a steel axe from Bob and get to level 5 thieving so I can steal from the cake stores later on. That really didn't take long at all, and once I had enough coin I headed straight to Bob and got that steel axe. Next thing on the list was being able to actually wield the axe. I wanted to keep my HP as low as possible for Wintertodt, so I headed to the attack dummies in Varrock for some free attack XP. You can get attack XP off of these up until level 8. It's one of the first things I remember doing in RS2, so it's nice to see that this still works in OSRS. A little bit further down the line, I did realise that I'd probably be wielding a broomer torch while I was at Wintertodt, so this was pointless, but you gotta learn somehow. After I finished up at the dummies, I started work on wood cutting and getting food to fire making, as that's what the main requirement for Wintertodt is. Seeing as I was already in Varrock, I just headed over to the trees west of the West Bank and started there until I hit 15. Once I hit 15, I moved on to the oak trees a little further south. And once I hit 30 woodcutting, I moved on to willow trees in Lummy because I didn't want to get attacked by the dark wizards at Draenor, and after a while I hit 50 fire making and it was time to move on to the next task. Next up, I wanted to get 15 fishing. The reason I'm getting 15 is so that I can use the fishing trawler teleport and get to our dome without crossing White Wolf Mountain because it's a pain and I don't fancy my chances at 10 HP. Next up, I wanted to get 15 fishing. The reason I'm getting 15 is so that I can use the fishing trawler teleport and get to our dome without crossing White Wolf Mountain because it's a pain and I don't fancy my chances at 10 HP. Once I hit 15 fishing, I moved on to completing the Stronghold of Security, secured myself some funds and of course those fancy boots. After this I completed Daddy's home so I can receive construction XP from the repairing the braziers at Wintertodt. And I completed the waterfall quest for the strength and attack XP to help me collect the meats for completing the druidic ritual quest without gaining too many hit points XP. After this I completed the druidic ritual quest so that if I wanted to make the rejuvenation potions at Wintertodt, I could. And after this I did a little agility just to get to 40 to help with all the running around, and then I moved on to collecting warm clothing. So I read up and I found out about the Clue Hunter set, figured that was probably the easiest one to get. I only needed 4 pieces for the full effect, but I headed to the wilderness to the Mage Arena to buy a nature rune, and to the observatory dungeon to loot the chest for the super anti-poison dose, just so I could get the helmet to prove that it can be done. After this I headed off to Ardoyne to steal cakes because I've been told that cakes were basically the thing to use at Wintertodt for 10 HP Ironmen, and after pickpocketing men and women in Lummy it was a pretty easy task. After stealing around 500 cakes I made my way to Wintertodt. I think I planked twice during the waterfall quest on my way here, which I knew was going to happen, but I've arrived, I'm fully prepared and I still have 10 HP. In terms of progress, at 78 fire making I somehow managed to get the pet before any pyromancer gear unless you count the gloves, but they aren't actually a part of the set. And on a little side note, this was actually my first old school RuneScape pet, so I was really happy to see the drop. I'm currently sitting at around 197 Wintertodt kills and 87 fire making. I've still got a long way to go to 99, and when I hit it, again, it'll actually be my first level 99 on old school RuneScape, so I'm really excited for that. That's all for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for all the support you guys give the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.